The Bravo Hotel station, come back with your call sign again, please, sir.
Whiskey 8, Sierra Bravo Hotel.
Roger, roger. This is Kilo Charlie 9, Victor Kilo Victor. Good morning.
And good morning to you. How's my signal there? You're at 10 over 9 here.
Well, I can't give you an actual S meter reading, but you seem to be about 10 dB above my noise level, Roger.
I guess that's all one needs these days, is to be above the noise level, isn't it? Name here is Paul, Papa Alpha, United Lima, just north of Charleston, West Virginia, W8SBH.
Roger, was that Paul?
Yeah, QSL.
Oh, roger that, roger that. Yeah, well, my receiver, we do QSO-VLOG recordings, and so I take particular attention to the front-end sensitivity and not use any more RF gain in the front end of the receiver than I need to get the job done. So, you know, in sideband, it's kind of like CW, and if you got a bunch of RF gain cranked in there, you have a bunch of noise suck up between the words, or the dashes and dots, Roger.
Yeah, I normally do that too. Right now, my noise level isn't too bad. I've got you on full RF gain without any problems. I usually start out that way to get an accurate S meter reading, and then I might cut it back.
Roger. Now, I see our 40-meter band is playing its normal games. That was about a 20 dB fade there for a moment, and then it came back, Roger.
Anyway, I'm on an off-center fed dipole here, an ICOM 7300, just running at 100 watts. I haven't turned the amplifier on. I will if I need to. And like I said, I'm just about 10 miles north of Charleston, West Virginia, which is our capital. Back to you.
Oh, roger, roger, Paul. Well, you might want to turn on that item, because we are QSO-VLOG recording, and we do paste them on YouTube so folks can check out what their station sounds like. You know, it's so hard for a person to get an accurate rendition of their on-air signal, because one thing, if you're talking, you can't hardly listen. Some can do that better than others, but you know, this way, this is we're recording direct line out into our mixer, so you know, it doesn't come out sounding like a lot of those air checks on YouTube. They use the camera microphone, so the air check turns out sounding more like the guy's room than reality, Roger.
Yeah, now, give me that again, exactly. Where are you telling me to do this, to check out my audio?
Well, if you wanted to fire up your amp to give me a cleaner signal so you could hear yourself pristine on the playback, if you went to YouTube and checked out our QSO-VLOG, Roger.
Okay, well, the amplifier's on now. We're up to a little over 900 watts. Now, where would I check this out later?
Oh, that makes such a such a difference. We have a YouTube page. If you do a call letter search on YouTube, Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, that will take you to our QSO-VLOG page. And what we're doing, you know, usually on Friday mornings, we record for about an hour and a half. And if you look for the title, this will be called My Group, and the date and the time. I'm sorry, the date and the frequency, okay? Which would be, today's date is 8/17/18, and the frequency obviously is 7189, Roger?
Roger, glad to see we're both reading the same frequency too.
Roger. Sometimes I have trouble with the dates, but I do have one of those atomically correct atomic clocks, which I have dutifully deactivated. The radio because it kept screwing up, but it does give me stays with the right date, Roger.
Roger.
But anyway, so we are in full-fledged recording now, so tell me about your station a little bit.
Okay, I forgot your name already. Okay, we'll get that next time around. I am running a ICOM IC7300 and driving an AL80V amplifier, and we're running just about a kilowatt, I guess, on the peaks, and the antenna's an off-center fed dipole up about 30 feet. Okay, back at you. How'd that sound?
Roger, Roger, beautiful. The name here is Jim, Juliet India Mike, and we are located just across the river from Louisville, Kentucky. Downtown Louisville is about 3 miles away over the Ohio River, or across from the Ohio River, and we're in Indiana, actually. And let's see, I was going to say that that radio, man, that is one choice, beautiful radio, Roger.
Oh, yeah, I've had it just a little over a year now, and I just love it.
Roger, yeah, I've heard a bunch of good reports on that radio. It is the radio of the hour, I think.
Yeah, apparently they're selling everything they can build, and then they've got that 7610, which is very popular too. But I don't see why I have to spend $2,000 more to get something. I mean, this is all I can handle.
Oh, Roger, Roger, yeah. Sometimes you get too many knobs and whistles, and you can't get from here to there fast enough, or even, I mean, you spend, many months reading the 2-inch manual.
Yeah, well, yes it is. It's kind of like operating your computer on Windows. There's things on Windows that, even though I've been using Windows probably since day one, back in the late 80s, there's still things I don't know anything about. I just learned something about this radio yesterday, where it's got a clock on it, and if up in the upper right-hand corner, and I'm reading my local time, if I touch that time, it pops up and shows me UTC also. I don't think I had found that in the manual.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Well, some manuals, I had a radio from hell one time. I think it was a Kenwood dual frequency UHF VHF. It took till page 17 to hit the on button, to tell me about the on button, Roger.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Fortunately, this has got the power button on the top left on the box itself, so I did find that right away. By the way, I'm on YouTube, and I put in Kc9Vkv, and it says no results.
All right, let me give you the call again phonetically. Kilo, Charlie, 9, Victor, Kilo, Victor. Roger?
Victor, Kilo, Victor. Here we go. Yep, okay. Here we go. Got it all there now. Okay, yeah. Yeah, all kind of things popping up, but I'll take a look at it after we do this, but here.
Yeah, Roger, Roger. Yeah, we have about 230 or 220 QSO-VLOGs in our main list segment, and this is, well, I guess I get about 225, I guess it is now. I'm trying to remember, but yours will be, or ours will be, somewhere on that page within a couple of days. It usually takes me a couple of days to be able to post. Roger?
Oh, okay. I'm glad you told me that. Otherwise, I'd have been hunting all morning for it. I'll check it back this weekend for that. Be curious to hear that. Yeah. What do you think? What the most important thing to me is what the next guy, the other guy, thinks about my audio. What do you think about it?
Oh, I think you got to go. And what kind of mic are you using?
I am using we'll call it a CM500 made by. Hold on a second. Made by Yamaha. It's made for the music industry. It's a headset. It gets really good comments, and besides that, it only costs $50.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Well, see, now I didn't even know it was a headset, so that's the first hurdle right there. Usually a lot of headsets are plagued by transients and stuff because they don't have a very good audio acoustic filtering system going into the boom mic. Roger?
Yeah, well, I'm very happy to this. I've got very bad hearing, so wearing the headphones itself is very helpful for me. And also, you know, since we, at least I do, use a computer all the time online, that I wanted to have both hands free. I got my right hand on a mouse right now. In fact, sometimes I get confused. I go to operate the radio, and I pick up the mouse and try to run it across the radio screen. But I'm also been using Ham Radio Deluxe, which I'm not sure I like that much, but anyway, in fact, apparently it just failed on me. It's crashed. Anyway, so that's what I do here. But by the way, your signal sounds fine too. Good audio, good train signal, no problems at all.
This is November 9 Golf Tango Oscar.
Stand by, please. Roger, Paul. Roger. Yeah, I was just, it reminds me of that story, you know, the guy with your hands free. It reminds me of the guy that had the burglar cornered. He had the gun in his flashlight, and he had the gun to his head and the flashlight, and said, "One more step and I'm going to shoot."
By the way, I think there's a breaker. You want to take that?
Roger, go ahead, Lou.
Yes, sir. The other gentleman with that Yamaha microphone sounds beautiful. I'm 3 miles east of Mr. Fergusson, and I'm the sidekick. We've done a lot of dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Good evening to you. This is Lou in 9GTO.
See, but he doesn't know what time it is. It's morning.
Wait a minute. I didn't say it was afternoon, good morning. Well, I might have said that, whatever time it may be. But good evening to you, sir. Let me get your name again.
Okay, my name is Paul, Papa Alpha United Lima, Lou, and you're a 9 here, which is about where my noise level was moved up to, but so far I can copy you.
Yeah, I'm on the vertical. That's the difference. I'm on a vertical, not on a horizontal. But I can find a horizontal. I can go out there and find one. I've got one somewhere. Let me go out and switch over to the inverted V double bazooka, and I'll be right back in 9GTO.
Okay.
Take it over, Jimmy.
Back at you, Paul. That signal's really good. You know, I wish 40 would straighten out and just be what it is without the fades, you know.
Yeah, I find it very frustrating these days to be operating because you don't know what the band's going to be like in next minute.
Roger, yeah. Well, you know, the folks that's running all that front-end AGC, they don't care too much, you know, but I'm not running any, so I do have a little trim pot. I have a little audio trim pot right by my toggle on, toggle off talk button, and so I do ride audio gain. I'm looking at your signal on a VU meter and riding manual gain, Roger.
Okay, yeah, I've got... I can watch the audio on this rig here, which is kind of nice, except I don't know how to interpret what I see on the instruments, so I don't bother with it much.
Roger, what kind of display? Do you have a VU meter, or is it lights?
No, I have, let me see. What I have is I've got they call it an audio scope. I'm both looking at like an oscilloscope plot, and I'm also at the same time looking at a frequency plot, which goes up, shows me at a little over 3 kilohertz wide.
Oh, Roger. Well, that's the most accurate way to look at audio. Of course, I was in broadcasting for 50 years and spent all of that time looking at a VU meter. So I'm more inclined to see that. I can usually tell where the needle is going to go before it travels too far towards where it's going, Roger.
Okay, yeah, I've never used a VU meter, but now see, my audio signal looks much different on here than yours does, and I don't know why that is, but especially on the envelope in particular that I'm looking at.
Roger. Well, I've got quite a bit of top end for articulation in there, so you're probably seeing this one fairly well broad across the scope, Roger.
I'm back, guys. Hello, radio.
All right, we were talking there, Lou. Stand by just a moment.
Okay, and by the way, my signal width is a bit, you're right around 2.8, which is where you should be, and looks like I'm about 3.5 kilohertz.
Roger, but in the analog or the digital oscilloscope presentation of the audio, you can see the lower frequencies and the upper frequencies of the audio spectrum being looked at. Roger?
I really don't know what I'm looking at, but boy, it's different when I see my signal versus yours, and I don't know what that means unless I'm kind of tending to overload this instrument too. But I've gone online and looked for information that would help me interpret what I'm looking at, but I can't find anything.
Roger, go ahead, Lou.
Yeah, I got a shorted coax.
Well, that's no way to start a day.
I had a flashover, so I had to get off of it.
A flashover?
Yeah, the antenna out there's got something bad with it. When I went to load it up, low wattage-wise, it's showing no SWR, which when you load it up with wattage, it starts sputtering.
You got to get a better coax.
No, it's the connection up there. It's in the T. I got to lower it down today and work on it.
But it does all right at lower wattage?
Yeah, I'm putting out 100 watts right now, and I've got SWR. Let me see here. Let me make sure that the SWR is acceptable. Yeah, I'm okay. It ain't great, but it's okay. Yeah, sir, can you hear me better on the inverted V?
Was that my question?
Yes, sir. Is it about the same?
Yeah, well, actually, you might be a little bit better. Yeah, I think you're better.
And I'm giving you about 80 watts on the inverted V, where I was on a vertical giving you 1,500 watts, and you couldn't hear me.
Yeah, well, I definitely can hear you better, so I don't know if the noise has changed, though, but yeah, you're better.
All right, we'll let it go at that. You guys get back to your YouTube, N9GTO.
Catch you in a minute there, Lou. So, Paul, you're running how much wattage there?
Right now, I'm peaking at 1,000 watts.
Roger. And that antenna was a what?
It's an off-center fed dipole. It's an MFJ. It's 6 meters, 10 meters, 20 and 40.
Roger. Now, why would you buy an antenna that you could build?
I'll tell you what, one reason, when I bought it, I wasn't sure I could build one. In fact, I did try to build one, and it didn't work worth a darn. And here's what I found out after doing some research and actually getting a hold of and talking to the man who designed the MFJ antenna. If you go looking to build an off-center fed dipole, everyone will tell you to use a 4-to-1 on your transformer up there. Well, it actually requires a 2.35 to 1, and I've actually measured that on this now since I know that, and that's what it is. And when I built one with a 4-to-1, it didn't work worth a darn. The SWR was terrible.
Roger, Roger. Well, I'm using a dipole, and I'm not using a transformer. It's the only thing I am using is a choke. But going direct from the choke to the dipole, and I've got 1.01 to 1 standing wave. I got 3 inverted V's that are running 1.01 to 1. Roger.
Yeah, a dipole is inherently a center-fed dipole is SWI has a impedance of 72 ohms, but it's a lot different when you go off center. It really starts climbing, and that's why the transformer is needed. And but if you get the wrong one on there, then you're messed up. Now this antenna here, since it's multi-band, now I'm running on 40 meters. I'm running just about 1.6, 1.8 to 1 right now. That's now if I move into 20 meters and 10 meters and 6 meters, I'll be running. Won't be able to get a reading. It'll be right around 1 to 1 or something like you've got there. But it just makes it into 40 meters. But that's about the worst it gets, so I can live with that quite well. But yeah, if anyone ever wants to build one of these, in fact, there was an article in QST quite a few years ago written by this guy who designed this antenna before he got tied in with MFJ. And all the details are there. MFJ has improved the construction of it and whatnot, but electrically it's still the same.
Roger that. Roger that. Well, I use a tuning method where I adjust the SWR on the ground side and bring it back on frequency on the high side. And I keep going back and forth, always making the SWR adjustments on the negative side and the frequency adjustments on the high side, and you can walk it right on down, like I say, to 1.01 to 1, which and also, like I say, I have 3 separate inverted V's because my luck of trying to get those results on a single antenna on multi-bands is probably akin to 1,000 billion to 1. So to be able to run the way I want to run, SWR-wise, I just figured it'd be a lot simpler just to use a separate antenna for each band, Roger.
Yeah, by the way, I do not use an antenna tuner with this antenna. So I bought one and I realized you don't need it. And now with the amplifier, I don't have a kilowatt tuner anyway, so and I don't intend to buy one. It's not in my interest, quite frankly. So I wonder what's going on here. My SWR seems to be dropping a little bit. Not that I care, but oh well. It's probably raining out there. Maybe that's affecting it. I don't know, but nothing I'm going to be concerned about. But yeah, no tuner. And that's really sweet that I can operate this radio. I often operated just with 100 watts, so I can operate with without a tuner across several bands. And I have another antenna that's it's a folded sleeve. I mean, it's a 2-band dipole, and it's got a fed element, and it's got a parasitic element for 15, 17 meters. That is pretty well flat across the band. I don't use a tuner on that either. So basically, all the bands I operate on here, I don't need a tuner for.
Roger that. Yeah, we have a tuner, but I only use the tuner on 80 meters because the band is so large. It's hard to go. I center tune for almost 1-to-1 in the middle of 80, and then by the time I get to one end or the other end, I'm up there about 1.8 or something, 1.9. So I use the tuner on that band, but otherwise I go to bypass for the other bands, and I have a 6-position rotary switch that I have my other dipoles coming into, and I just select the rotary switches to what band antenna I want, and I'm getting there through a bypass on the antenna tuner. Roger.
Yeah, well, I like the idea of the 6-position switch, which I assume means you have 6 antennas. I don't have the space or the energy for that, but on top of that, I know darn well I forget to turn that switch at the right time. That's another reason a multi-band works good for me, protects me. Another thing is that, I don't like to use the term tuner, even though that's what I said. I think the old term that used to be matchbox is more appropriate because we're not tuning the antenna, we're just protecting the radio. The antenna is resonant at one frequency, and that's it, no matter what we do with our tuner. So we're just keeping that the energy coming back down, bouncing back down the reflected power. I keep forgetting the word. The reflected power from damaging the transmitter.
Roger. Well, a trans match, as it were, LC circuit, whatever you want to call it there. Most folks, even the manufacturers, I think, call it antenna tuner, Roger.
Yes, they do, but, it doesn't tune the antenna.
Oh, Roger, Roger. Well, can't win them all. At least, they have and use a terminology that most folks can rationalize with. If they called it a trans match or something, or a LC circuit, nobody would know what they're talking about.
Yeah, you're right. I cannot argue with that at all. And you know what the whole main thing is that regardless what your SWR or mine is, if we're able to make contact and have a conversation with a little difficulty as we are now, that's the main thing. I mean, no antenna is going to give you a bandwidth, an enormous bandwidth. That's why we have multiple antennas, 24 or something like that. So, as long as we can keep our transmitter from smoking and get a signal out there that's readable, does anything else matter?
That's a Roger. Well, the band just took a 40 dB hit right there. It did take a 40 dB hit. So, Paul, I want to jump out of here. I had a pleasure this morning talking to you, and we will be posting this QSO-Vlog within the next couple of days. And again, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, when that page opens up, you'll find our QSO there. It'll be a reference to my group and the date and the frequency. Roger, Roger.
Well, Roger, thank you. I appreciate that. I look forward to it. I look forward to, I guess, maybe Sunday afternoon, something like that. Give you time to put it up there. And thanks for the QSO. I appreciate it. And have a great weekend. W8SBH is clear.